Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to Speaking Club English and our YouTube page and Instagram page and Telegram group and wherever you might be. This morning I'd like to talk to you about idioms and phrasal verbs. So if you are at least B1 level in English, you should be dedicating a large part of your study time to learning idioms and fixed phrases. And why is that? And phrasal verbs? Well, the answer is that unlike in some languages, almost everyone who is a native speaker of English uses a lot of fixed phrases, phrasal verbs, and idioms. It is extremely common. And it's not generational. So in other languages, I know from studying Ukrainian and different languages like that, perhaps a part of the population will use a lot of idioms. So perhaps older people might use more idioms and phrasal verbs. Whereas in English, everyone uses phrasal verbs, idioms, and fixed verb phrases. Fixed phrases in English. So, how many should you learn a day? Some people say, well, I'm going to learn 10 a day. Then I'll have this phrasal verb situation sorted. Not a very sensible solution. The idea should be that you can consume the information and no more than 2 idioms or fixed verb phrases a day. The key thing is that you can put these into your speech. You can use them, you can know what they mean, and also produce these idioms and these phrasal verbs in the right context. So, for example, we have a few different phrasal verbs and idioms that we're going to look at today. We're going to look at 2 idioms. So like I said, don't try to do everything all at once. Let's try to do 2 idioms and fixed verb phrases per day. So every day we're going to try to learn 2 fixed verb phrases and 2 idioms. The first one is off the top of my head. And off the top of my head means that this is what I know right now without researching more. So I could say, off the top of my head, I think the population of Australia is around 48 million. Off the top of my head, I believe that 65% of Ukrainians speak Ukrainian as their native language. So, what I'm saying is that I haven't got further information, and that's what I know. So how can we use this in our daily lives? How can we adapt this phrase to put it into our daily speech? With something like off the top of my head, it's quite simple because you can almost use it for any response to a question about a statistic or fact. And so that's one way that we can practice it. Off the top of my head, I think that I walk around 4,500 steps per day. Yes, off the top of my head. I don't know. I'm not looking at anything. It's just what I think at the moment. Another phrase to have a little look at this morning is we'll wait and see, which means we don't know what the answer is now, but let's wait and see. Wait and see. We'll wait and we'll see what will happen later. We're not sure. We're unsure, and so we're going to wait and we're going to see what happens later. So now that you've got those 2 idioms, what we're going to do is we're going to write those down, write the meaning of that down in the simplest English that we can, that is understandable, writing it in English. Don't get into the habit of saying, wait and see, that this is not going to work, okay? What you want to do is you want to write down the meaning in English and then write 3 or 4 sentences using that phrasal verb or that idiom, and then you're going to use it in your speech. 2 per day. every day. After B1 level, it is very important that you do this, and what will happen is that your English level will increase dramatically, because a large percentage of people who are speaking English as their native language use these phrasal verbs and idioms all the time. Hope you've enjoyed this little tip session, and if you have, please like and subscribe this video, share it with your friends.